Fight night, Anthony Hernandez, Gregory Rodrigues takes place this weekend in Sacramento, California. I will actually be in California during this event. I will not be in Sacramento, but I will be in California, funny enough. So I might not be able to see too much of this card, but I had to get the thoughts out. Had to see how Obama's going to do in this one. So we're going to start at the bottom again. I do my thing. I don't know a lot of these fights until the day of. So again, don't know much about the fights early on. However, I do know Anthony Wint. I just watched Anthony Wint on the Contender Series last week fucking decimate the guy he was up against. He is an athletic, big, powerful heavyweight. He's actually not that big, but he is muscled up to the nines. NFL background. Who the hell is Terrence Chapman? Again, hate to disrespect Terrence Chapman, but gotta go with Anthony Wint, man. He just brutalized the guy a week ago, and now he's back in like less than a week later, or a week later. So, pretty fucking nasty stuff for Wint. He's got a lot of power. He's got a lot of athleticism and a lot of aggressiveness in him. I could see him being a legitimately problematic heavyweight for a lot of these guys. And I don't think this short notice Terrence Chapman, who they brought in to give Anthony Wint such a quick turnaround, is going to be the guy that's going to be able to stop him. So, all love, all respect, Terrence Chapman. But I think we know how this is going to go. And it's going to go with an Anthony Wint masterclass, as well as this next matchup. Marcio Barboza, we watched just recently, put someone to sleep. I do forget exactly who it was, but he slept someone bad, so bad. Meanwhile, Ryan Kuzi, who the fuck, right? Both of these, I think the odds, yeah, they're both minus 1,000. Makes a lot of sense. It seems like these two matchups here are just sounding boards and just opportunities for Wint and Barboza to show their stuff. So obviously I'm going to go with the heavy favorites. Moving on, Chanel Dyer, Elise Reed. Going with Chanel Dyer. Chanel Dyer is pretty good. Elise Reed is so hit or miss. She's had a couple decent fights here and there, but she's 8-5. Chanel Dyer's coming off good wins. She's the English prospect here. Again, the odds here kind of tell the story. So these first couple matchups kind of look like layups for their favorites. And then this one too. Wow. Jamal Emmers versus Larian Douglas. So Jamal Emmers is good. He's good. He is good. He's coming off a win. Larian Douglas, didn't know he was 14-5. That's actually kind of a mid record for him, but he is so powerful. We saw it in his last fight that he was dropping the dude with the jab left and right. I mean, dude has so much power in his hands, and he knows how to use it. So Jamal Emmers is good. I think he's crafty. I think he's going to be able to make some problems for Douglas. I don't think Douglas is going to roll through Jamal Emmers like he did the last guy, but I do think Larian Douglas is going to win, and I do think Larian Douglas is going to win pretty convincingly. So I think Larian Douglas is a legitimate prospect. I think he's a guy to look out for at featherweight for sure. I think he needs a couple more statement wins before he really gets to that next level, but I think this is a good first step in getting him there. So, yeah, Larian Douglas is going to win this fight against Jamal Emmers for sure. Gage Young versus Stan Dorsanville. Who cares, man? I don't know anything about either of these guys, to be honest with you. I sound like such a casual, but I mean, Gage Young, I think I've seen him fight before. I think I saw him win his last one. No idea who Stan Dorzanville is. I'm guessing he's coming off the Contender. Seems like a close fight. I'm going to go with Stan. That seems to make sense. Chris Padilla, Nasrat Haqparast. Glad that Nasrat Haqparast is alive after getting fucking brutally head kicked by Quill and Salkilled. Looks like Parast is the slight favorite here. I'm inclined to go with Chris Padilla. Taco Padilla is a tough night out, man. He's a tough fight for just about anybody. I've never seen him get dominated. I've only ever seen him perform pretty damn well. He does lose sometimes, but he's always giving guys competitive fights. He's always making it tough for them. Meanwhile, Nasrat Haqparast, again, he is good, no doubt about it, but he just got folded in his last one. So even on even in normal conditions in which these guys are both coming in off wins or are both coming in off whatever, I would still think about Chris Padilla, even though I tend to think that Nasrat is a pretty good contender in this division. But after that last one, man, I mean, Nasrat got put out bad. So, am I going to pick him in his next one? Probably not. It looks like a pretty close fight. Looks like Paras is a very, very slight favorite, but I'm going to go with Chris Padilla on this one. I think he's got crafty hands. I think he's just a tough night out, Chris Padilla is. I think he's going to have more than enough to deal with a guy like Nazareth. Moving on to the battle of the hairstyles, Wes Schultz versus Jackson McVeigh. This is a hilarious matchup in terms of just their aesthetics. I'm gonna go with Jackson McVeigh. I do think he's better. Wes Schultz is too much of a jiu-jitsu like wannabe. Jackson McVeigh actually does have the potential here, although they are both coming off wins. 6'4" middleweight, good good distance on him, good leg reach. The real thing to look at here is their hairstyles, though. I mean, that is just crazy. That we have such luscious manes on these two leading up to this one. These guys definitely do not have to worry about losing their hair. They have so much of it. So, gonna go with McVeigh. I do think he has the grappling mixed with martial arts better. I think Wes Schultz is more of a purist when it comes to jiu-jitsu. And I think Jackson McVeigh is a little more well-rounded and a little more able to make things happen. So, gonna go with him. Kennedy and Nzechukwu versus Shamil the Blob Gaziev. Who's the favorite here? Shamil? I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one, to be honest. It's a tough one. Um, Kennedy and Nzechukwu moving up from light heavyweight. He's had a couple heavyweight fights and he's been okay so far. Meanwhile, Shamil's definitely had a fall from grace. He just got fucking slimed by someone. Was it that Australian guy? Peritich? Was it Brando? I don't know. But Shamil's had a rough one of it as of late. But Kennedy really ain't all that, and his lighter man skill is definitely like worn out by now. In that, he's coming up with light heavyweight skill that is, I think, probably not as there anymore. This is a tough one, man. This is actually a really tough one to pick. I'm gonna go with Kennedy. I'm gonna go with Kennedy and Nzechukwu. I'm gonna say that Shamil's on the down. I'm gonna say that Shamil Gaziev's kind of been figured out. He's gotten pretty badly beat in a couple recent fights. I think Kennedy's still got that explosivity, still got that drive, still got that energy. I'm just not sure where Shamil is at this point in his career. Although I do think Shamil was legit. I think Kennedy is gonna be a little hungrier in this one. And I do think he's going to capitalize on Shamil getting finished in the last fight. So good, interesting fight at heavyweight between these two, but I'm going to go with Kennedy, ultimately. Carly Judice versus Miss Chavez. Looks like Carly Judice is a very big favorite over the undefeated Chavez. I can't say I know anything about Chavez. I know Carly Judice is pretty good. I'm going to go with Chavez. Fuck it. Fuck it. I don't know anything about these two. I just know that Judice is pretty good, but I also know that Chavez is undefeated, and we're gonna rely on that. She looks like a fighter. She looks tough, like a tough cookie. So I'm gonna go with her. But the real match I want to talk about, there's a couple of them, but Mikel Medeiros versus Mason Jones. That's a fun fight right there, ladies and gentlemen. Mikel Medeiros is no joke. He's good. He's got nice hands, but Mason Jones is a fucking dog. Mason Jones is an absolute marauder. His last fight with Axel Solo was fucking amazing. And since then, Axel Solo's come back and won his next fight pretty convincingly against Bonfim. So it goes to show that, like, Mason Jones is good. And Mikel Medeiros is good too, but I'm inclined to go with Mason Jones in this one. I think Mason Jones is going to be a ranked lightweight. I think he's going to be one of those marauder, like, just tough guy types in that division. Where, yes, he is skilled and yes, he is good, of course, but he gets carried a lot, I think, by his physicality, by his desire to win, his drive, his motivation. I think all that's going to do a lot for Mason Jones. So I'm going to go with Mason Jones in this one over Mikel Medeiros. Mikel Medeiros is good, and I could see this being a scrap. My bet is this is probably fight of the night between these two. And it could go either way, but Mason Jones, I think, comes out of those situations more intact. Moving on. RDR versus Dolidze. Dolidze sucks, man. There was a time, let me tell you what, there was a time, once upon a time, that I actually thought a lot of Roman Dolidze. When he was going into that Vettori fight, when he had just heel hooked, or calf sliced Hermanson, and then he went into the Vettori fight, I thought Dolidze was going to be a real threat at the top of this division. Man, oh man, has he not turned out to be that. Not even close. He has sucked in the majority of his outings. RDR coming off a loss to Caio, I think. Was it Caio Barallo? I think it was Kyle, and this being his light heavyweight debut against Delidze, who's also coming off a loss to, I forget who. Was it CLD? I don't even know. But I'm going to go with RDR. I'm going to go with Rainer de Ritter. Rainer de Ritter's issue has been his cardio and his gas tank. And with that no longer a problem at light heavyweight, looks like Roman's moving up too, actually, which is interesting. But with that no longer being an issue for him, with a bigger gas tank, less of a weight cut, I could see him doing some problems here. His striking's never been great. Rainer's never been chinny, although he did get chinned pretty bad, but he survived against Whitaker. Um, I don't know, man. I mean, Rainer de Ritter has a win over Whitaker, who's now in this division as well, so he could cause some shit to happen here for sure. If he makes it happen here against Delidze. And I think his grappling, Rainer's grappling, is enough to get past the Delidze, especially this level of Delidze. And then Rainer could do some fun things in this division. So I am going to go with RDR over Roman Delidze. I think he's going to submit Roman Delidze. His grappling is really crafty and really tough to deal with. So I'm going to go with Rainer. Moving on up the card, Sergey Spivak versus Vitor Petrino. This is an interesting heavyweight fight, man. I'm inclined to go with Spivak. I know that Vitor is the favorite. Vitor Petrino is not like the best grappler in the world, and Sergey Spivak is kind of like quintessential um, heavyweight grappler. You know, a tough heavyweight grappling out. That's what you get with Spivak. You get tested in the grappling. And Petrino is mostly just an overhand merchant. You know, Petrino is mostly just heavy hands and a lot of power, which he had at light heavyweight, but then moving up to heavyweight, he has kept, as well as some raw athleticism. He looked good in his last one, Petrino did. He did beat our boy Asplund, Stephen Asplund, in a pretty competitive, pretty close fight, which gives me some sway for Petrino. But I don't think Petrino's that guy. I don't think Petrino's gonna be a top heavyweight. I mean, what's Spivak ranked? He's does it say? He's number 6. That's crazy. He should not be that high. But I am gonna go with Spivak. I think I'm hedging big time on this one. I really think that this could go Petrino's way. I could easily see Petrino just nuking Spivak into orbit. Totally possible. No doubt about it. But I have a feeling, I think, that Spivak is going to be able to implement the grappling and be able to keep Petrino from breaking into that top 5. Basically, I mean, if Petrino beats Spivak, then the next for him is top 5, which is crazy to think about. Being the fact that it's Vitor Petrino, but I'm gonna go with Spivak grappling, either decision, just smudge fest, or submission. I absolutely see a world in which Petrino slimes him out cold, though, no question about it. So we'll see. Main event: Fluffy versus Obama. In Fluffy's last fight, he got pieced the fuck up by Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland is now the champion. We can accept that. RoboCop's last fight, he beat up on Bruno Ferreira and has been looking really good as of late. RoboCop has. My gut says Fluffy. His grappling is really good. RoboCop has good grappling in his own right, but Fluffy's grappling is very good. But Fluffy did get TKO'd by Strickland. And getting TKO'd by Strickland suggests either an issue with the cardio or an issue with the chin, which are two things that RoboCop will take advantage of. And it's his first big loss in a while for Fluffy. It's in his hometown. Tough opponent. I'm gonna go with Gregory Rodrigues. Actually, I'm gonna go with RoboCop in this one. I think RoboCop's gonna be able to keep Fluffy off him. I think RoboCop's gonna be able to put some hands on Fluffy. I think Fluffy's chin might be a little suspect, even though we haven't really seen much of it in the past. I think I could see RoboCop putting some hands on Fluffy. I could see him using that power, using that physicality. He's taller. He has a same reach, funny enough, but he's taller. He's bigger. His presence is much larger in the cage. Um, I think he'd be able to get up if Fluffy was taking him down successfully. We've seen Fluffy do that. We've seen Fluffy is a relentless grappler. He wasn't really able to get that going against Strickland, so this might be a recency bias pick. But I just have a feeling that RoboCop's going to get this done. I just think he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns and do damage on the feet, and that Fluffy's not going to be able to deal with it. So I am going to go with RoboCop in this one. I think RoboCop is coming for the top of this division. And I've thought that for a while, but he's had setbacks here and there. Excuse me. So Could I see this going either way? Absolutely. If RoboCop wins this, he deserves like a top 5 guy. If Fluffy wins this, honestly, so does he, because he's right in that caliber. I mean, what's Fluffy ranked? Number 6? Yeah. I think winner of this deserves, a top guy in the realm of like a Kaya Baralho and Nasruddin Imavov. In Izzy, if you want to keep Izzy in that level, but like a Pfeiffer, those types. Hamzat, Strickland, the like. So I'm gonna go with Gregory Rodrigues here. I don't know. I just have a feeling. It's not a very informed pick. I think Fluffy's probably the smarter pick, but I just have a feeling that Fluffy coming off that loss, Fluffy getting TKO'd by Strickland, Gregory Rodrigues looking as good as ever. I think maybe the momentum is on his side and he'll be able to take this one. So some pretty decent fights in Sacramento. Definitely looking forward to them. I hope you guys enjoy the fights. Until then, we'll talk soon.